You don't have a messy home. You have a stressed nervous system. And Japan figured this out centuries ago. Research from the University of Tokyo shows that visual clutter spikes cortisol levels by up to 60%, even when you're not aware of it. That means your home might be silently exhausting you, hijacking your focus, and draining your peace, even if everything looks clean enough. But in Japan, the home isn't just a place to live. It's a tool for healing, a living system of habits, design, and emotion that's been perfected in small, quiet homes for generations. And when you apply their secrets, even just one, you feel it. The anxiety drops, the calm kicks in, you breathe differently. So I'm going to show you 5 powerful Japanese home secrets that don't just clean your space, they reprogram your mind. Secret number 5. The genkan isn't just an entryway. It's a psychological firewall. Most people think the front door is where a home begins. But in Japan, that's not quite right. The true threshold of the home, both physically and mentally, is the genkan, the small sunken entryway that Western visitors often overlook. It's where shoes come off. Yes, but it's also where the outside world is stripped away, inch by inch, like dead skin falling off a snake. And trust me, if your home has ever felt chaotic, anxious, or like it can't quite breathe, it's probably because you're letting the outside world follow you all the way in. Let's be blunt. The genkan is one of the most powerful emotional filters in traditional Japanese architecture. Why? Because it doesn't just trap dirt, it traps energy. A 2022 environmental psychology study from Kyoto University found that the simple act of removing shoes before entering a home reduced reported anxiety levels by 23%, especially in urban dwellers exposed to noise, stress, and commutes. It's symbolic, but also deeply biological. You're telling your body, the day is done. You're safe now. But the genius of the genkan goes beyond symbolism. It's functional to the extreme. Slippers await neatly on a step above, and the act of stepping up, literally ascending, signals to the brain that you're leaving one world behind and entering another. According to Shinto tradition, the boundary between the profane and the sacred is always marked by a physical transition, a step, a gate, a threshold. The genkan is that gate. And in a culture where purity and cleanliness are deeply intertwined, it's not just about hygiene. It's about purifying your mind before you bring it into your living space. Now, let's get practical. Most Western homes don't have a sunken entryway, but you can still harness the power of the genkan. Start by zoning your entry space. Lay a small mat just inside the door, not for wiping feet, but as a visual cue that this is a transition zone. Add a small bench or stool, a narrow shoe rack, maybe even a bowl for keys. This isn't decor, it's ritual architecture in miniature. If you want to level up, consider Japanese-style getabako shoe cabinets, with compartments for different family members, and keep it clean. A cluttered genkan defeats its purpose entirely. There's a reason Japanese families teach toddlers to bow slightly at the genkan when entering their own homes. It's not about formality. It's about awareness. They're teaching children to respect the home as a living space, not just a structure. And if you ever feel like your house is too noisy, too dirty, too fast, it might not be your house. It might be what you're dragging into it every single day without realizing. So let's start there. Not with a new shelf or a minimalist purge, but with a step. One small, quiet, deliberate step into peace. Secret number 4. The art of shitsurai, designing your home to respond to the season and the soul. Here's something that's rarely talked about outside Japan, but once you hear it, it'll change the way you see every room in your home. The Japanese word shitsurai doesn't just mean decorating. It refers to the ancient and deeply intentional act of preparing a space to reflect a season, an occasion, or even a personal emotional state. It's where design meets ritual, where style bends to life, not the other way around. And it's why Japanese homes feel alive, even when they're empty. Unlike Western decor trends, which tend to freeze a room in time, one style, one vibe, locked in for years, Japanese interiors are fluid, like the seasons themselves. And here's the mind-blowing part. This isn't just aesthetic, it's psychological maintenance. A study from Waseda University in 2023 found that households who practiced seasonal interior rotation reported a 37% increase in emotional well-being, especially during stressful transitional months like March, end of the fiscal year, and September, seasonal change and typhoon season. Why? Because our environments cue our brains. If the home never shifts, your mind stays static. But when your home breathes, so do you. Shitsurai can be as simple as changing a hanging scroll, kakejiku, in the entryway, or as involved as rolling out tatami mats, swapping curtains, and laying down season-specific table runners. In summer, you'll see breezy hemp textiles, translucent ceramics, and airy blues to cool the senses. In winter, warm-toned woods, cozy futon covers, and hinoki-scented incense bring psychological warmth. Even the placement of objects changes. A vase that held cherry blossoms in April might hold red maple branches in October, not for show, but because that's what the earth is doing. And yes, Westerners can do this. You don't need a tea alcove or a zashiki room. Start with one surface in your home, a shelf, a nightstand, the top of a piano. Declutter it completely. Then ask, what is this season trying to say? Is it a time of growth, rest, gathering, solitude? Let that guide the objects you place there. Maybe a candle in winter, or a fresh sprig of rosemary in spring. Maybe a photo of family in autumn, or a single river stone in summer. It's also worth noting that shitsurai honors impermanence, a central idea in Japanese aesthetics. Nothing stays. So instead of resisting change, Japanese design partners with it. You don't hang on to last season's vibe. Out of stubbornness, you let it go. That's why even the tokonoma, a sacred alcove in traditional homes, is always in motion, always evolving, always making room for what's now. Western design says perfect once. Japanese design whispers perfect for today. This is more than design. It's therapy. Seasonal rotation is not about spending money. It's about staying present. If your space feels stale, anxious, or heavy, it might just be trapped in last season's energy. So free it, let it shift. Let your home evolve as you evolve. Start small, but start with intention, and watch what happens. Not just to your room, but to your mind. Secret number 3. Movement without friction. Designing your home like a Japanese garden path. Let's get something straight. Japanese homes aren't just tidy. They flow, they glide. There's a kind of spatial choreography happening that you barely notice until you experience it. And once you do, you'll never walk through your cluttered hallway the same way again. In Japan, this idea is called nagare, the concept of flow, of directional energy moving cleanly from one space to the next. But it's not just architectural theory, it's visceral. The same principles used to design centuries-old Zen gardens, where every stone and shrub subtly directs your path, are used inside the home. The result? A space that guides your body without resistance and quiets your mind without effort. You know that low-grade irritation you feel when you bump into the corner of a table again? Or when you have to step sideways to squeeze between the couch and the coffee table? That's spatial friction. It adds up. A 2021 Tokyo Institute of Technology study found that people living in homes designed with Nagari principles had lower cortisol levels throughout the day, especially when transitioning between tasks like cooking, working, and relaxing. Why? Because their homes supported movement, rather than blocking it. Now here's where it gets surprising. Japanese homes are small. Tokyo apartments average just 650 square feet, barely enough room for a full-size couch. But they're not cramped. They're choreographed. Think sliding doors instead of swinging ones. Think multi-use rooms instead of fixed-function layouts. The living room becomes the bedroom, with a rolled-out futon. The dining table tucks away after dinner. Nothing sits stagnant. Everything is ready to shift. You can apply this without changing your walls. Start by observing your home's friction points. Where do you always bump your hip? Where do things pile up because they're in the way, not because they're useful? Take one of those zones and ask, how could this move more like water? Maybe that means removing a redundant chair. Maybe it means pushing a shelf 3 inches to the left. Maybe it means putting a lamp on a wall sconce instead of a bulky side table. These are small changes, but the neural relief is enormous. And then there's visual flow. In Japanese interiors, your eyes can travel cleanly from one end of the room to the other. Nothing jarring, nothing shouting. Color palettes are subdued. Wood tones, earth tones, soft whites. Why? Because visual noise is just as draining as physical clutter. A 2020 study from the Japanese Society of Interior Designers found that rooms with high visual harmony, measured by consistency in materials and tones, reduced eye fatigue and mental overstimulation by 41%, especially in digital-heavy households. So what does this mean for you? It means you need to think like water, like a garden stream. Your home shouldn't feel like an obstacle course. It should feel like a gentle glide, from kitchen to couch, from desk to bed, from stress to stillness. And once your space starts to flow, your thoughts do too. Secret number 2. The cloth that cleans the soul. Embracing the Osoji mindset every single day. Let me ask you something. What's your relationship with cleaning? Be honest. Is it a battle, a burden, a list of tasks you resent, but power through when it gets bad enough? You're not alone. Most of us were trained to see cleaning as punishment, as something reactive, something to get out of the way. But in Japan, especially in traditional homes, cleaning is not a chore. It's a daily devotional, and the object that symbolizes this best is something simple, quiet, and powerful. The fukin, a soft cotton cloth used to clean surfaces every day, not once a week, not when there's a spill, but as ritual. This practice is called osoji, and it doesn't just mean cleaning. The character su means to sweep, but it also implies purification. Osuji is a form of spiritual hygiene. It says, if I clear the dust around me, I clear the dust within me. And the best part, it's daily, but never overwhelming. Japanese cleaning isn't about all-day marathons. It's about micro movements, integrated into the rhythm of life. You wipe the kitchen counter right after cooking. You sweep the genkan as the sun rises. You clean the bath right after you leave it, so it's always welcoming. Let's look at the science. A 2023 study from Osaka University tracked 120 households over 6 months and found that those who adopted a Japanese-style daily cleaning ritual, especially focused on small, high-frequency actions, reduced household bacteria levels by 68%, compared to households that cleaned more deeply but less frequently. But more fascinating, participants reported a noticeable drop in stress, with many saying the act of wiping surfaces actually helped them transition from one part of the day to another. Morning to work, work to rest, dinner to calm. You don't need a tatami floor or a bamboo broom. Start with a cloth. Not paper towels, not harsh sprays. A soft cloth you keep for wiping surfaces, like the fukin, which is boiled to sterilize it and reused for years. Choose one area of your home, just one. Maybe the dining table or the bathroom sink, and commit not to cleaning it when it's dirty, but to caring for it daily. You'll find it doesn't get dirty, because the dirt never gets the chance to stick. And neither does the stress. This is the radical heart of Japanese home life. Maintenance is more important than repair. Prevention is kinder than cure. And peace is found not after the mess is gone, but by never letting the mess take root in the first place. Try it. Boil a cloth. Use it every morning, every evening. Wipe not just to clean, but to calm. And then watch how the energy in that room begins to shift. Not with noise, not with effort, but with quiet, habitual care. Secret number 1. Living with kansha. Turning your home into a living relationship of gratitude. This final principle doesn't live in a drawer, or a corner, or a cloth. It lives in you. And yet, once you activate it, it fills every inch of your space, silently, powerfully, like scent in the air. It's the concept of kansha, often translated as gratitude. But in the context of the Japanese home, it means something deeper. A felt reverence for the space that shelters you, a daily acknowledgement of its quiet service. And here's what most people miss. This isn't a feeling. It's a practice, a behavior, 1,000 small visible acts that say, I see you, I value you, thank you for holding me. Now, this might sound poetic, but it's grounded in a very real psychology. In Japan, the home is not seen as an object. It's seen as a partner. And like any relationship, it thrives when it's treated with consistent, conscious respect. That means you close drawers gently. You open doors mindfully. You never throw your jacket onto a chair or kick off your shoes in a hurry. Not because you're afraid of mess, but because every careless gesture is a tiny fracture in the relationship, and every careful gesture is a repair. There's even a cultural term for this way of being. Mono no aware, the awareness of the soul of things. It's not spiritualism, in the Western sense. It's an emotional sensitivity. When Japanese children are taught to fold their clothes neatly, they're not just learning order, they're learning respect for the garment, its texture, its service, its silent presence in their lives. When they put away toys, they're encouraged to say thank you. That thank you isn't for the parents. It's for the toy. It's a relational moment, a nod to the unseen fabric that connects people and objects in mutual care. Westerners often ask, how do Japanese homes stay so peaceful? And the answer isn't magic. It's emotional discipline. Gratitude in this context is not about feeling good. It's about behaving well. A 2024 study from the National Institute for Environmental Studies in Tsukuba found that individuals who practiced gratitude-based living, including gentle handling of objects, consistent appreciation of daily routines, and verbal thanks to one's space, reported higher subjective well-being scores than those who did gratitude journaling alone. The home, it turns out, isn't just a mirror of your mind. It's a co-author of your mood. You can start right now. Tonight before bed, walk through your home slowly. Don't straighten anything. Don't fix. Just observe. And as you pass each object, your couch, your sink, your slippers, pause for a second and whisper, "Thank you," not because it's woo-woo, because you're forming a relationship, because your home is working for you every single day, holding your memories, catching your tears, softening your exhaustion. And when you say thank you, even silently, you start to shift the entire tone of the space. This is the ultimate Japanese home secret. That peace doesn't come from what you remove. It comes from what you recognize. And gratitude, real, physical, practiced gratitude, is the most powerful peace builder of all. You don't need a bigger house. You need a better relationship with the one you already live in. Because at the end of the day, it's not clutter that's robbing your peace. It's the absence of care, of intention, of rhythm. What Japan teaches us isn't minimalism for the sake of trend. It's something far more human. That when your home is calm, you become calm. When your space flows, your thoughts follow. And when you treat your environment like a living partner, instead of a dumping ground, it starts giving back in energy, in focus, in quiet joy. The science backs this up. A 2022 study in the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that people who practiced home-based rituals like those in Japanese households experienced higher cognitive clarity and lower baseline stress, even more than those who meditated daily. So don't underestimate the power of wiping a surface, or moving a chair 6 inches, or thanking your slippers. These aren't small acts. These are the foundation of your mental clarity. And no, you don't need to follow all 5 secrets today. Just pick one. Try it, feel it, and let your home finally start taking care of you. Because peace doesn't wait for perfection. It begins the moment you decide to treat your space like it matters. Now tell me, which one are you starting with?